Hi, I'm Ed Yaw. At County College of Morris, we believe all citizens need to be informed about the important issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Creative development and early education. Next on Caucus, New Jersey.
Funding for this edition of Caucus, New Jersey has been provided by the PNC Foundation, which supports early childhood education through Grow Up Great, a multi-year initiative to help prepare children from birth to age 5 for success in school and life. NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, the New Jersey Education Association, working for great public schools for every child. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, the heart of academic medicine, Health Republic Insurance of New Jersey, and by Johnson & Johnson. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger, powering NJ.com, and by NJ Biz, all business, all New Jersey.
Welcome to Caucus, New Jersey. I'm Steve Adubato. The evidence is clear that a strong foundation in early education is absolutely critical for success later in life. Now, this is the second of a two-part series, and here to discuss creative approaches to early childhood education, we have Michelle Marigliano, who is a Special Projects and Assessment Coordinator for Young Audiences, Arts for Learning. We also have Dr. Shannon Ayers, is an Assistant Research Professor at the National Institute for Early Education Research at the great Rutgers University. We have Ty Stevens with us last time as a teaching artist at the Sharron Miller Academy for the Performing Arts. And finally, Ronnie Ragen is the Community Partnership Director at the Trenton Community Music School. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Now, last time, in part one, we had Linda Bowden with us from PNC. It was a great discussion. I want to pick up that discussion talking about creative development, early childhood education. But Dr. Ayers, I want to bring you into this. Let's set the context for this. What does the research show in terms of how important it is to establish this strong foundation? We could talk about math and we could talk about science. When we talked in the last show about there's a strong connection between the arts and science and math, et cetera. But how important is a strong foundation in these early years for children?
Well, we know from the research that their experiences in early childhood is heavily related to later learning. We also know that intervention in those early years, this window of opportunity that they call it, that we can have an impact on how children will grow and learn in their later years. So for us, in thinking about the whole child, not necessarily just what's deemed cognitive, math and science, but also thinking about approaches to learning, persistence, problem solving, the arts, and all of that is included in really the effective and high quality preschool classroom.
Yeah, the other issue that did not come up in the first program, and I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to describe their organizations because I don't want to assume everyone saw part one and it's important that you describe your organization, is the issue of curiosity. I know it's really important that we develop a sense of being curious. You know, and I mentioned that we do have this little girl, Olivia, who's turning 4 as we do the show, and she doesn't stop asking questions. And it can be irritating at times, but I also realize how great it is. That level of curiosity is essential, is it not?
It is. I'm so glad you're bringing this up because in our work at Young Audiences...
Describe your organization for those who missed the first show.
Young Audiences is a non-for-profit organization that's dedicated to bringing the arts to every child in New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania. We do that most effectively by training teachers to help us out in the classroom. And so in our work across all arts disciplines, we really give children an opportunity to experience the art form, to create in the art form, to make connections to other subjects in school as well as their life, and to think deeply about observation. And so when children are looking at art or creating art, we're asking them open-ended questions, like, how would you describe what you see? And then we're looking for language. We're helping them to develop their capacity to increase the amount of words that they use throughout their day.
What about the questions, the curiosity thing? How do we develop, because you're teaching dance, you've been at it for a long time, and plus you dance yourself, right?
Yes.
What is the connection between, again, describe Sharron Miller, and I said last time, I'll say it again, we love Sharron Miller's dance studio in our place, the School for Performing Arts. But what is the connection between that and promoting curiosity in kids?
Well, first, the Sharron Miller Performing Arts Academy is an in the community organization, a non-for-profit again, and we're really about the hands-on, the being the artist, not so much even thinking the artist, but being the artist and learning the craft and getting out there and performing it or taking it to another level. You know, sometimes it just ends up being public speaking.
Sure.
And that's great because then you have another level of confidence that you can work with. But
promoting curiosity, how do we do it?
Promoting curiosity.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a tough
getting
question,
kids, because that is is it not a skill?
Well, I think when children are engaged, when they're deeply engaged in something that's self-intuitive and intrinsic to them, they become curious naturally.
Is that right? That it's a natural thing for kids to be curious?
Part of being curious is building your background knowledge. And we as parents and teachers need to do that. So a child who lives in an apartment complex and maybe far from the beach, they need to understand and have experiences about the beach. So we can do that through the arts, we can do that through literature, a really great way to build their background understanding and really thinking about all those components, both cognitive and non-cognitive.
I can tell Ronnie wanted to get into, you're mouthing
so
something.
we can take him to the beach, too.
We can take him to the beach, right.
And I think, I agree 100%. I'm so glad you're talking about having experience because Michelle
Describe
said
your
before,
place.
the Trenton Community Music School has been in Trenton for 15 years. We offer private lessons in instruments, but our program, the partnership programs in the community, the largest one is our early childhood program, Music for the Very Young, which we're talking about today, and that is a partnership with the public school pre-K classrooms in the city. Michelle mentioned before that it's through play that children are really learning everything they need to know. Playing, fantasy, using their imaginations, but they need to have material to do that.
For
so
example?
That in music, by giving them a rich variety of musical experiences, which we try to do in Music for the Very Young. They're doing small motor finger play. They're doing, they're jumping and all over the place. They have scarves to play with. They have different kinds of instruments to play. They're working together. Everybody's got the same shaker eggs. And but we're also having two groups so that the kids who are playing shaker eggs over here and over there, they're dancing, and we're actually accompanying them, or we're doing two different levels. So they learn, they get all these different pieces, and they're hearing the, music in different meters, in different tonalities. So when they get to their music center now, they have material, just as you're saying, they have content. So
they have something to work with.
They have something to work with, and the teachers report to us over and over. All of a sudden, the most favorite center in the classroom is the music center, because they have their books, they have their CDs, they have their music cards, and they play at being in class, and it's remarkable.
One second. In the first program, we actually took a look, Ronnie, at some video from your place, and the kids were singing that morning song, right? The Hello song.
Right.
And that was great. But I want to set up this video. Michelle, set up this video for us.
So we're going to take a look at a snippet of a residency in a school in Trenton. It was a movement residency based on thinking, moving, and creating dance.
Is it a choreography class?
I would say it's an emergent choreography class.
Children are for?
Yeah, so we're asking children what they know about dance. We're asking them to show us what they know about dance in a very broad context. So that might even be the basketball player jumping up for the foul shot. Or it could be the classic ballet dancer. And so we're looking at dance in time, space, and energy. And most importantly, we're asking children to describe what they see and then use a co-creative process where they work with their peers collaboratively and agree on how to set up a piece of choreography.
Here we go. emerging choreography in action.
You can choreograph with your body parts. You can choreograph with levels like high and low. Are you thinking of new ideas? Here we go. The reason why this work is important for young children is because it gives them an opportunity to have choice in their lives. It also gives them an opportunity to think creatively, to think back to other experiences that they're having in their classrooms and make connections.
That's good stuff.
Great.
What's going on for those kids?
I think they're feeling
Oh, they're having
empowered.
fun.
Yeah, you know, I think that fun allows them to feel empowered about their ideas. They're making meaning based upon a set of previous experiences that Shannon talked about, and they're making a translation. I love this idea about translation, translating our physical experiences in life into movement, into music. And there's I think, a beautiful couplet there because children start to have multiple inroads of expression.
Ty, let me ask you, what is the thing called that you do? It's called
Informances. Yeah.
Informances?
Yeah, informances.
What's an informant?
It's at the end of it's the culmination of our 8-week program. It's like a performance, but it's an informal performance. So we allow other classrooms to come and view what we've been doing. If there are parents that are available during the day, they can come and watch. And we don't do anything differently than we do during the course. We just allow them to watch the process. And then when the kids are aware that their peers and their parents and guardians are watching, they have a slightly different take on how they're going to do things. You know, they're not quite so, they think more. They think more. They're more responsible. They're more present, accountable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because when we went to see our daughter Olivia at, I don't know if it was called that for the 3.5-year-olds, at the Sharron Miller Academy in Montclair.
Yes.
We were there, and I have it on, the iPad. And I will tell you, she was half the time while she was doing it, she was looking out of the corner of her eye at us. To what degree, for not just for Olivia, but more importantly for all of the children there and all the children at Sharron Miller and other places that try to teach dance in such a powerful way, to what degree is a child's sense of self being developed when they are performing in front of others, frankly, I have to say, under pressure? Am I making too much of that?
No, not at all.
Because she can't just, I guess I'm sorry for interrupting. She could just crawl into the corner and not do it, but we're not going to keep signing her up if she wants to, if she keeps quitting.
Right.
You don't have to do it. But she got up and did it.
Right.
What goes on then for them?
Well, there's that transition that happens. I mean, they start to understand that this is okay to do, for one, that they enjoy what they're doing, and that they want to share that enjoyment with the people that they love. So for mom and dad to come and see it is like the biggest thing in the world. It's the best.
And they want from us just recognition.
Absolutely.
And we don't care if they're the best. We just want them to have fun and be the best they can be.
Right.
And Shannon, what is it doing for them when they're doing that?
Self-regulation. It's
Self-regulation.
huge. So we're learning how to control our bodies, which in turn will help us learn how to control our learning and be regulated in terms of being able to filter out what is not necessary and focus on what is important and critical. There is also a huge research base in play and the importance of play and how that's related both to their later learning and their ability to express what they know through play. So if you are looking at a child playing with things like the shaker eggs that Ronnie had mentioned, you can hear the beat oftentimes, and what that translates to is the phonological awareness. So the syllable.
The
Phonological awareness, the understanding of how our language works, really. So we're talking about rhyming, alliteration, syllable segmenting, which goes down lower into sound segmentation, which is related to reading skills. So all of these important skills that they're developing through their play will help them later on.
And some of us are sitting there just saying, oh, they're playing. But so much more is going on. So much.
That's why a show like this is so important, is to make conscious what seems so simple. There's so many layers of things happening under what seems obvious. But just like I said in the other show, when the kids are doing their little hello song.
By the way, I know our folks in the studio are going to, and our control room are going to get angry at me for this. If we wanted to see the hello song again, could we do it? Could you cue it up again? Ronnie, keep talking about the hello. I want to see the hello song again. Go ahead.
It's more about unpacking what's happening in
Unpacking?
there. Unpacking, knowing all the layers of experience that the children are having, just to sing that simple
Just
little
to sing
song.
hello in the morning?
Just to sing hello in the morning. They are learning. Shannon, you want to make
really?
the list? They're learning to pay attention to the teacher. They're learning to listen to what they're doing. They hear themselves in connection to other people. They're what you're talking about earlier, the whole business of relationship.
Ronnie, stay right there. Our crack, terrific team that does not need praise from me because they're not in preschool, but it never hurts. I want to thank you for doing this, because we showed in the last show, we said we weren't going to do it 2 shows in a row, but we need to see it. Yeah. This is, again, Ronnie, the hello song from
a Music for the Very Young class.
Music for the Very Young class at the
Trenton Community Music School's Music for the Very Young.
I'm giving you a chance to plug here. Plug.
Right. Go ahead.
This is the hello song. Check it out.
Hello, everybody. So glad to see you. Hello, everybody. So glad to see you. Hello, I'm Lydia. So glad. Let's tap her. Hello, I'm Bernasia. So glad to see you. Hello, I'm Jasper.
When my son Jasper came home with the music together, he came home with the book and the CD. And when he came home, he was really excited. It was like, Mom, look, we're doing this at school and I get to bring it home with me.
Doctor, I got to ask you, that's Jasper's mom. She's proud. What could that we don't know what it means for Jasper. What do you think it could mean for Jasper that he's doing the hello song so well?
Well, I think it's about participation, having a place in the classroom, really building that confidence. I'm important. I'm saying my name. My classmates are welcoming me. And then all of the other cognitive parts where we're learning each other's names, where we can talk about similarities between our names. We are, again, clapping out the beat, prerequisite to some literacy learning.
Wow, we learned social piece too, right? Yeah. People can't even talk to other people. At like 45, 50, they can't even be in a conversation. Can't look other people in the eye. I'm serious. Don't know how to greet people in the morning. It's not a bad way to learn. These are important social skills. There's another one I'm going to ask you. For kids who grow up without, this happens everywhere, but disproportionately and clearly in certain areas, certain situations, disproportionately without dads in the home. Clearly more challenging.
Oh, yes.
Do you feel a special responsibility with these children?
I do.
Talk
I
about
do. As a male. And
one of the few in the field?
Yeah, I guess you could say
Go
that.
ahead.
Yeah. As a male in the field of dance, and being comfortable with my body and being comfortable interacting with people and being, I say, a positive role model. I think that's one of the things that it's another layer of things that has to happen in the classes. I'm in East Orange schools, and it's an 8-week program, and we're in every other week. I'm in 5 different schools, and we have huge amounts of kids to interact with over a short period of time. And in that amount of time, I try to give them as much of those layers as possible, including the information about dance and all the math and science that goes with it. And then there's still that level of humanity, that level of family and interaction that they need, that's going to take them to that next level. There's a balance there that they're missing often enough.
Can you see what they're looking for sometimes in you?
Yeah.
Can you actually see some of them looking at you in a certain way?
Yeah. I get clung to and I get hugs.
Yeah, the hugs are amazing.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. And
do you think some of that, I'm sure everyone here gets it to some extent, but do you think to some extent it is because there is not a strong male figure in their life?
I do, especially with some of the boys.
That's what I mean.
The girls.
I should say it could be for anyone.
It happens even both with male and female, but especially with the boys, you can kind of see there's a permission that they're given because I'm there. A permission to do what they're doing, to have fun, to join in.
Because you're doing it.
Yeah, because I'm doing it. Yeah.
But being a role model is important.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Shannon, you wanted to jump back in.
I think it's critical too. The students who participate in these extra programs are so fortunate. I know Michelle works closely with teachers, and we need to make sure that every classroom has these additions of the arts into the classroom, where we're looking at the whole child and thinking about problem solving and persistence and integrating the curriculum. So when I'm doing science, I'm incorporating the arts.
And I'd like to add the aspect of family relationships and how arts experiences where parents and children are engaged with each other increase attachment and bonding. And so when children's attachment and bonding to their primary caregiver is strong, then they're more capable to take risks in life. You know, right now in the video that we saw, we see children in a very safe circle. There's a predictable structure in place, and once they feel comfortable in that predictable structure, then they can start to experiment with new ideas.
Parents. I'm sitting there thinking of the terrific work that each one of you and your organizations do in terms of helping kids to grow up great and these creative beginnings that we talk about. How important is it to engage the parents who are there and involved in the lives of these children, and how do you do that? How do you do that?
Our program is different than the others in that it's not as short as some of these programs are. So our goal initially was when preschool was new in the inner cities in the state, we saw that as an opportunity to try to ensure as best we could that the arts, and particularly music, would be included at a foundational level in the classrooms. So our program actually stays in the classroom for the whole year. And we work on a weekly basis with the teachers. We bring, and the materials that you hear, the Hello Song, it's part of the curriculum we use,
Right.
So that we have something that we can leave in the classroom and send home. We do professional development with the teachers and are there as
What about
mentors.
the parents?
And the parents, the CD and the songbook that they're using every week in class goes home with every child.
But to what degree is there any quality control? Meaning, to what degree can you have any sense as to whether that kid is singing the Hello Song at home?
We know because they come back and they know the songs we haven't done yet.
Absolutely.
And they're saying, can we have number 22? That, you know, because the CD's on at home. And then parents come. One parent in particular said, can I speak to you, please? And we have parties for the families to come, and we do it all together. So it's not about performing, it's about sharing, that, you know, as you were saying before. But one parent asked, can we look at the songbook? He said, I know my child can't read, but at night when we listen to the CD, she follows. And this is what she's experiencing in the class. She knows that that's telling the story of her song.
Okay, we have a couple minutes left. I'm curious about this. You know, the field of early childhood education, the people who go into it fascinate me. You do this kind of work, you meet interesting people, fascinating people. Were you born to do this?
I think in a way. As far back as I can remember, I wanted to teach. And that was before I got my own education. It was a very interesting thing. It's something I always wanted to do. And so once I got to a certain point in my career, and I felt, you know, the community was losing some of what I learned. Music was a part of my curriculum, athletics and the creative arts. I was in an arts program in school. I was an art magnet, you know. So for that to be not existent for the generations that followed really disturbed me. And
You feel responsibility.
Yeah, I felt like I got to jump in and do something.
So you're supposed to do this?
Definitely. There's no doubt in my mind. As a child, I was given the permission to explore free play in my neighborhood and in my home. I was always dancing and making music. I was the person in the house that would take the everyday object and turn it into something symbolic that no one else would have done.
So this is no accident.
Definitely
You're here
not.
today with us.
Definitely
and you're
not.
doing the work you're doing.
Definitely not.
Born to do this?
It seems so. I've had so many chapters along the way, and they've all come back to synthesize, it seems, in this. I've taught at every level of education, and I'm finding that the early childhood is maybe the most fascinating and interesting because but we're music movement and literacy, and I have done music movement,
Right.
and I have a degree in English.
And so what's so fascinating is Dr. Ayers, you were a kindergarten teacher, a reading specialist, your mom, and you're looking at this from a scholarly point of view right now. You're supposed to do this work, right?
Absolutely. And when I work with pre-service teachers, I talk about, well, you know, the love of children is necessary but not sufficient. There is a science behind this. You know, behind working with young children, we know from the research what we need to do to have an impact on their lives.
Well, I want to thank all of you for being part of this very special two-part series, talking about our children and talking about what they need and talking about how we all have a responsibility to help them grow up to become the great men and women we expect them to be. And you're helping create a powerful foundation. Thank you all very much.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence, and 13 for WNET, NJTV, and WHYY. Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by the PNC Foundation, NJIT, the New Jersey Education Association, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, Health Republic Insurance of New Jersey, and by Johnson & Johnson. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios. This program has been made possible in part by the Kessler Foundation.